This is Frederik Andersson from Kvaen, Vananidr, and Fimble Winter, and you are listening to the Dan Shan Show.
Hey, Fredrik, how's things with you, mate?
Very good, thank you. How are you doing?
Really good, mate. Thanks. Very, very well. Where in the world at the moment? Are you at home? Where's home for you?
Uh, yeah, I'm at home in Stockholm, outside of Stockholm.
I love that part of the world, mate. The only thing I don't like about Sweden is your drinking laws, but we can deal with that when you've got beautiful landscapes. Always the same.
Yeah,
Trying to get a beer at night in a shop, those kind of things, or something stronger, maybe. I don't know.
yeah, no, it's horrible. It's like the alcohol police is out to get you.
That's right. Always in the Scandinavian countries. So, you know, thanks for joining me on the show. I really appreciate it. But it's a slightly different perspective tonight because usually I get guests in to talk about a new album that's about to be released. But we are going a bit arse about tit on this one, as we say in England. I'm speaking to you to discuss the band Fimble Winter that has been brought together to start production and was announced only, was it last week now? Now, tell me about how you guys started and what got this together.
Well, yeah, it started like last year, last spring. I was out having beers with my old friend Nico, who was like the original drummer in Amon Amarth.
Yeah.
And he mentioned, because he was celebrating his 50th birthday last year in September.
Yeah.
And he invited a bunch of friends for that, and he mentioned when we were out having some beers that he wanted to play a show. He was going to play with his other band. He has a punk rock band that he plays in, and he said that he wanted to play the first Amon Amarth demo that he recorded in 93, 94, or something like that.
Okay.
But he looked like he didn't know who else was gonna play, and he didn't want to just do the drums. That would be kind of like weird. So I was like, yeah, well, a few beers in, I haven't touched the guitar in like 10 years. So I was like, I can do it. No problem. Yeah. I'll play the guitar for you and we'll have a show. And and it kind of, I mean, he was really committed to do it, and I thought it sounded like fun, so I wanted to do it as well. I mean, those songs mean a lot to me. It was the first songs that I heard with Amon Amarth, and the first songs that I played on drums when I first got into the band. So we started looking into like who else would play, and looked into some different possibilities. We asked Anders, who played on the demo as well, at first, but he said no. He was also invited to the party, but he had a show with his band just before dawn, the same weekend, so he couldn't attend the party and couldn't join the band. But then also we asked my friend Linus, who I played with in a Kenris Quintet back then, if he could play bass, I think. And we were like kind of didn't really know who was going to play the second guitar. We were thinking about some alternatives, and we also asked Clint, who is a huge fan. Basically, we got to know him through what was it called, that forum? It's called Ultimate Metals Forum or something like that. It was pretty big in the 90s, and he was like just a huge Amon Amarth fan. And first time we played in Australia, I got to meet him, and then he came to Europe a couple of times and visited some shows. And I would consider him he's a good friend with me and a good friend with Nico as well. And he's a singer in a couple of bands in Australia.
Yeah,
and he was really keen to do it. So that was no problem. And then just a few weeks before the party, actually, Anders, the show that he was booked for got canceled. So he was like, we asked him again, and he was like, yeah, of course, it should be fun. And then we started to rehearse for real. And then so we just did that birthday party show and just realized we did like 4 rehearsals or something like that, just playing through the song. And just realized that, I mean, we've been friends for ages, and we just enjoy hanging out, and we love to play. And then we realized we have a bunch of old school riffs. We could actually do something. We could start a new band, and so we did. and that's
So,
where we
so
are
the
now.
sound is, what's the sound like? What, because obviously we have not heard anything yet. I mean, are we talking
Yeah, no,
old school?
I would. I mean, the sound we're aiming for at least is like the demo basically. So
Okay.
it's gonna be old school. It's gonna be 90s
Yeah.
gritty death metal that
Yeah.
with melodies. That's what
And,
it's gonna be.
and you've got new songs as well, I believe. Is that right?
We have 5 songs.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
S-
So and that was really quick. I mean, I sent over. I had like a bunch of riffs. Nico had a bunch of riffs, and I think Anders had a bunch of riffs, and we just sent them to Anders, and he put together like 5 songs in basically a couple of weeks, and it was just
Awesome.
it went really quickly. So yeah, we.
So what's the long-term plan with letting us hear something? When are you going to release a single, or are you going to do an EP, or are you going to record everything in one go, including the old demos, and bring an album out?
Yeah, no, I think we're gonna record those 5 songs as an EP.
Yeah.
And kind of test the waters and see what if it's only us that think it's fun and think it's cool to play like that kind of music. If we'll see if anyone else is interested in hearing it. I don't know. But I mean, we'll do it for ourselves and just to have fun with it and see whatever happens. I mean, we're not aiming for like playing at headlining Wacken or
Right. Yeah.
playing private jets or anything like that. That's not the goal here.
Sure.
And we're definitely not trying to compete with Amon Amarth.
Sure.
Like that's not what we're
course.
aiming for. We're just a bunch of old friends that enjoy playing together and having fun, basically.
So,
and
go on. Sorry.
If anyone else like, then that's a bonus, I guess.
Awesome. And what's the timeline, shall we say, Fredrik, with regards to a release? Are you going to do it before the end of the year, or is it something for the new year?
I would say, I mean, it's August now. We're right now we're focusing on the show that we have in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So we're just playing those songs that we're going to play on the boat. We were thinking about adding a new song, but I mean, who wants to hear really a song with a band that they've never heard before? I mean, and when we got booked to this show that we're doing on the cruise, it was as those old Amon Amarth songs. So we'll just stick to that and do those, sure. And hopefully there's going to be some people who get some cool nostalgia trip or something like that. So
nice. So you've gone to, I mean, you said you haven't picked guitar for 10 years, yet you're going for lead guitar. I mean, is it an overstretch? Is this something you're comfortable with? I mean, I don't know what your guitar skills are like, Fred, but tell me, is it easier for you? How is it?
I mean, I've never been a good guitar player at all. I mean, I played guitar in like from 91 to maybe 93. And then I switched to drums. Yeah. So I'm at that level. I'm at that level I was when I was a teenager, basically.
Right. Exciting.
What?
It's like a garage band again.
Even if I played the guitar after that, I only did it when if I got an idea for a riff or something like that. I never like practiced or anything like that. So, I mean, yeah, of course, a few beers in when I was having beers with Nico, it sounded like a great idea. And I was like, I know those songs. I mean, I played them hundreds of times. I know them. I don't even have to listen to it. I know the melodies, what's coming next.
Yeah.
And I basically, I picked them out, not even listening to the demo. I just know how the riffs goes. I just took them out just by memory.
So these are tracks that haven't seen the light of day, have they? There were only demos early days. Is that right?
Yeah. One of the songs was on a re-recording on the first full-length album, One Cent from the Golden Hall. And Without Fear was one of the tracks that was on the first full-length album. Yeah. But I mean, they've been on some like bonus editions. I think they were on Versus the World bonus edition and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, we did play them live frequently up until like 2004 maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
And then
yeah.
that's
yeah. So So two drummers in the band is, it's almost like a Foo Fighters situation. What's that like? Do you look over and go, I wish I was playing the Skins, or how is it with Nico with that?
Well, I mean, he haven't played drums in a death metal band since he quit Amon Amarth in like
Wow.
96. So
Wow.
yeah, it's worse for him, I think, than for me to start playing guitar, because it obviously it's less physique demanding to play guitar than it is to play those kind of drums.
Sure.
But I mean, he at least he's having fun with it, and we don't put any pressure on it. And the same goes for me. There's some parts that are actually, and I was going to come to that when I started playing the songs, I realized that there are some parts that are beyond, like, a bit over my level. So I had to, like, shit, I really have to practice this.
Yeah.
And not so much that it's technically difficult, but it's just something that I've never played before.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also the fingering. Do you say that? I don't know.
Yeah, you can say that. Yeah.
The way
it can have a different meaning, but yeah.
Yeah. The way the riffs were written, it doesn't really, it's not the way I would write the riff. So it's sometimes a little bit awkward, but now I'm kind of used to it, and it's fun. But I think for Nico to pick up the drums was a little bit harder, maybe.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's great when we practice. He's very critical, same as with me as well. But so he's like, he thinks it went worse than it actually did. And then there was one time we recorded the rehearsal, and after we listened to it afterwards, like, oh, it wasn't actually as bad as I thought it was. And we were like, yeah, see, it's not so bad.
Yeah.
It's just, nice. I mean, you're your worst critic always.
Of course. Yeah. And obviously playing guitar, Fredrik, I'm a drummer myself, and I know what it's like having to time your practice as if you're playing at home. At least a guitar, you can just plug in with the headphones. It's easier to practice without any stressing anyone out.
Absolutely. Yeah. I just pick up the guitar on the couch and
noodle away.
Watch some crappy TV and just
I love it. Now, obviously, you spent a whole chunk of your musical career with Amon Amarth. Do you look back on those days fondly?
Yeah, I do. I had a great time, and it's I'm very proud of what I did.
How many albums did you play on?
Oh shit. I don't know, 9, maybe 7, 8, something like that.
I saw you supporting Deu Boria at Rock City in Nottingham. That's when I first. Yeah. Was that that would be 2006, 7, I think it was. That's the first time I saw you and knew about you, and I went straight to the merch table and bought the CD. Okay. That was my first special. But yeah, tell me more about it. So many years of your life, your career. With Amon Amarth.
17 years I played with Amon Amarth. Yeah, I mean, it's a huge chunk of. I mean, they took my prime years, I guess.
Yeah.
But now it's been like 10 years out of it, so now it just feels like a different life, basically.
Of course.
Yeah,
of course. So you must be proud of your legacy with them.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's a little bit nudged. I don't know the right word. Like, I mean, there's a
tainted.
Smidge.
You say in English, tainted. I understand.
Yeah. So that's a bit of a shame, I guess. But that's nothing I can do anything about. So
are you still in touch with any of them?
No, we're not on a talking basis.
Not at all. Yeah, I understand. Right, Fimble Winter. Tell me about the name, because when I was trying to find out more information about it, there's already a Fimble Winter that I think Shagrath from Deu Boria was in many moons ago. And I was like going, old demos. I was trying to get my head around it. I was like, is this the same thing? I was like, so what does Fimble Winter mean?
It's from Norse mythology. And I'm not I used to know a little bit of the Norse mythology, but I'm not that interested anymore. So, but it's a period of time in the Norse mythology where the whole world just freezes over. Basically, it's basically like the permafrost or something like that.
Yeah,
so
I see.
it's just really cold.
I
So
see.
it's not just a winter; it's the Fimble Winter. So it's
Yeah. Did you know about another Fimble Winter?
no, that's what I'm sorry. What?
Did you know that there was another one that's not existed
Yeah, that's the
anymore?
thing. That's the thing. I'd never heard of them, and
Right.
as far as I know, they only released like a demo
Demo.
or
That's
or,
it.
or something like that. And I had no idea. And it's the damnedest thing because when we kind of decided that yeah we're going to try to be a band, and we were like, well, so what should we be called? And we were playing the demo the demo is called The Arrival of the Fimble Winter.
Right.
So we're like, well, it's going to be Fimble
Fimble
Winter.
Winter.
Okay.
Yeah.
It can't be The Arrival. That's
No.
it's just weird.
Yeah, yeah.
It has to be the like Fimble Winter, and we're like, yeah, that's cool. And this is like absolutely. I think it was like a week later, it was announced that they were gonna re-release the Shagrat's
Yeah.
band or
Yeah.
EP. It was literally a week after we decided on the name,
What a coincidence.
and we're like, oh, well, I guess we can change it. But I mean, it's not exactly the same. He's is written like one word.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're two words.
2 words.
It's not an active. His band is not an active band. They just reeled the demo from the 90s.
Of course.
Said, fuck it. And I'm pretty sure there are like 10 other bands called Fimble Winter out there that released whatever.
Of course.
We just figured, fuck it.
Just go for it.
We'll take the.
Everyone knows who you are.
So, yeah, I mean, worst things could happen, I guess.
Oh, for sure. Now, live-wise, you did say that your first official show is in a couple of weeks' time at the Close-Up Baton Cruise, is it? Where is that? Is that in Scandinavia?
It's a cruise. It's like one of those cruise ships, and it goes between Stockholm and Tallinn.
Nice. Nice. And is that so? That's your first official show. As a drummer myself, I know what it's like being stuck at the back with an inability to properly engage with the crowd. How much are you looking forward to playing guitar, being liberated and being able to engage right up in their grill kind of thing? Is that going to be cool?
Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to that. And like I said, I haven't been on stage playing it. I mean, I did that show.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
A year ago. And that was, I wouldn't call that a show because it was basically us rehearsing.
A party.
So it was just a different thing. But I mean, it's now it's going to be more of a real show, and we're going to try to actually make a show. It's different than just standing playing. So
now
I'm really
now you're getting more used. Now you're getting more used to playing guitar. What do you prefer, drums or guitar?
Well, I guess it's the. What do you? I'm bad with expressions in English, but like the novelty of playing guitar now, it is fun because it's something new. It's I mean, playing drum. I don't even practice drums anymore. I just even when I have shows with Kvaen or with Vananidr, maybe we do like one rehearsal before for the gig or something like that, and I usually don't even practice before that. I don't even listen to the songs or anything. I just sit down and play.
Yeah.
Because it's so it's just in the backbone for me. So playing it, it's I have to like be more concentrated, I guess, and it's a bit of a challenge. So
yeah, I understand.
That's the fun part, I guess.
Yeah,
and also, I mean, I basically I think it's also cool to be able to show a different side of me, I guess.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And do you plan to tour this more? I know you don't want the private jets, or you don't expect private jets, and you're going to release the EP. Are we going to expect you on some kind of support slot? Are you going to do some festivals next year, or is that the plan?
I mean, that's really not up to us. probably know how the music business works.
Sure.
It's
Sure.
up to, if someone wants to book us for a show, then we're gonna have to consider it, and if it works with our schedules and whatever, we'll take it from there. But I mean, obviously, it's always cool to play, and it's always cool to be on stage, and
Yeah.
also cool to hang out with people and meet fans and friends.
Yeah.
So I guess our standpoint is we're positive to it. We all like to we all love this. That's
Yeah.
we've been doing this for a long time, so
Yeah.
it's something we enjoy. So I guess we'll just have to see what the future brings, basically.
For sure. And you said about your schedule, and I had Jacob from Kvaen only on the show a few weeks ago. How's the album and how are those shows going?
The album reception, I think, has been fairly good. I haven't paid too much attention, to be honest. I mean, it's Jacob's solo thing, so I mean, I only recorded the drums on the album, and then I do most of the live shows. Actually, when we play on the boat with Fimble, Kvaen has another show booked in Denmark that I'm not. I can't do it because this show was booked first. So
That's a shame.
Having another stand-in drummer for that. So
yeah. So the
Kvaen album has been.
It's a great album.
I think it's going on.
It's a great album. Was that the last recording session for drums that you did?
Yes, it was. I recorded. There's a new album coming out with my other band, Vananidr, that is coming out in October. And
I saw that. That's more black metal.
Yeah.
Can you tell me more about that? Because obviously, is that your third and last project, or have I missed something out?
No, that's it. I actually I canceled all my other commitments like 1 or 2 years ago because I just don't have time and energy for it. So
I understand.
I did play with some other bands prior to that, but now it's just Kvaen and Vananidr and then Fimble Winter at the moment. So
yeah, nice.
I think that's plenty.
that's enough to do, especially when you're mixing instruments. That's great. What's your favorite genre of metal to play? You know, and what's your favorite drums on and favorite guitar? You know, what do you like? What kind of genres do you prefer to play on drums or guitar? Or is it the same?
I mean, I do enjoy black metal. I've been drawn to that for a long time. I mean, actually, I wanted to be in a black metal band already back when I was in Amon Amarth playing drums. But I just like a challenge. So I want to challenge myself and become a better musician and like, you know. Obviously, as a drummer, you want to play faster because that's what everybody is think is cool. And I've never really been a technical drummer, so I'm just trying to evolve with that and becoming more technical, becoming faster, and just better in general. I do like. There's no particular style, I think, that I prefer. I mean, I played a couple of shows with Darion. I really enjoyed that as well. I thought that was really fun. And I think as long as there's a challenge, I just enjoy playing, basically.
That's nice. That's good. And after all these years, you know, after time goes on, are you enjoying it more now than, say, when you were younger, less pressures? Or because you say you do like to challenge yourself, is that extra pressure there?
No, I'm not sure I understand the question completely. But I mean, when I was young, when I was before, I guess 35 up until 35, I didn't think about anything. I just thought about playing shows and drink beer. I mean, that was
great. That's good.
There was nothing else back then. There was. I'll be honest, I didn't care about anything else.
Yeah.
But and I think it was, and also because back then there wasn't so much focus. I mean, obviously, being a drummer in a death metal band back then, you have to remember that the death metal scene was really small.
Yeah.
So there was never on the map to even be recognized as like the drummer in this band.
Sure.
That's something that came much later. I guess that
Sure.
came with when even back then when you had drummers like Sean Reinert or Gene Hoglan, or I mean, sure, everybody in the scene knew that they were good, but it's not like they were on Drummers Digest or like Drummers magazine, and they weren't really like recognized in the business like it is now.
I understand. Yeah, of course. Social media.
I guess when yeah, exactly, social media and stuff like that. So when that started taking off, I guess somewhere around 2000, in the 2000s to or maybe a little bit before that. It's hard to think about what year exactly. Obviously, it was frustrating for me playing drums in Amon Amarth, where I wouldn't say I was held back, but since I didn't practice, we were in the rehearsal room like 8 hours a day writing songs.
Right.
We were there at least. And I wasn't really allowed to play on the drums because unless we were playing together.
Yeah.
I can't just sit there and practice by myself because they're also in the room. So I never took the time for myself to stay extra long. I wanted to go home as well after those 8 hours. So there was never, I didn't have the energy and the passion to try to become better at my instrument back then.
Yeah. And
that was frustrating when I noticed that all these other drummers started to get recognition also outside in the world, like Daniel from Arch Enemy got a lot of recognition, and I wanted to compete with that. I wanted people to notice me as well.
Yeah,
and I never really. I guess I didn't get the backup from my band members, because we always said in the band that it's not about one guy. We're a team. It's more about like our group performance than the individual performance. And I was like, yeah, okay, that's fine. But I mean, I want to evolve. I want to try become better at my instrument.
Yeah.
I would say I was a little bit held back on that, even during recording sessions. If I tried to do something more technical, they were like, "Oh, don't try to make it too complicated or so complicated. Just play something simpler." And when if you're not super confident in what you're trying to do, and someone is telling you, "Yeah, you should not do that," you're like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah,
shit.
of course.
So, in that sense, the last few years I was in Amon Amarth was more frustrating as a musician and as a drummer but also that time was also when I started to actually become a better drummer. So I did get some lines in there, some parts that I'm really proud of.
Yeah, sure. Now, obviously, drums is your first passion, right? What got you first playing? What was it many years ago, obviously? But who were your drummers in the day that you used to look up to? From what bands?
I mean, I obviously Dave Lombardo was a huge influence. I would say Nick Andersson, who played on Entombed's Clandestine, or in the early Entombed, and he had a very cool style. But even if I was influenced by that, I didn't really. I mean, I didn't play like that myself, but it was something that got me triggered and wanting to play. And also when I first heard like Dark Funeral, when they released their first couple of albums, and I was like, oh shit, this is this is fast.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool. And I mean, before that, I would say I was hugely influenced by Lars Ulrich, for example. I mean, the stuff that he did up until the 90s, like before the Black Album, was groundbreaking in a sense, because he played stuff that no one else played, basically.
Sure.
And he got us shit, I think it's very unnecessary. You don't have to tell someone that they're shit. They're just doing what they're doing. I mean, it's
of
obviously
course.
if you play a sloppy show or live show, yeah, of course you're having a bad night or you can't play. But, I mean, there's no denying that Lars basically,
of course,
he created his own genre of drumming. There was no one that drummed the way he did before that, and there's no one after either. So he should have all the cred, I guess. And he has the cred.
Legend. Of course, he's a legend. Now, a man of your touring caliber, I mean, you must have done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of shows, Frederik. You must have a fun or not so fun story from the road to share with me tonight.
But that's fucking hard, because trying to come up with like one and also like that.
I know.
I mean, I since we were talking about it in the rehearsal room the other day, because the rehearsal room where we practice now with Fimble Winter, it's Nico's practice room. It's like a sauna. It's really hot, especially now in the summer, also in the winter. But in summer, it's insane. Like, and Nico was like, he was asking if it's okay for him to play the live show in shorts. And we were like, yeah, of course. I mean, who cares? And I was saying, yeah, you don't have to do like I did with my first show that I did with Amon Amarth, which was at Wacken, and it was like at noon. And I thought it would be a really good idea to put on my leather pants. So I played in leather pants like at noon at Wacken, and obviously I couldn't take those pants off for like a couple of hours because they was like glued onto me.
God. Oh God.
So yeah, I guess that's a fun story.
I like it. So I'm going to ask this question, because I ask people who've been in the game for a while, what do you have an unpopular musical opinion? For mine, I'm not a big Beatles fan, right? Overrated. What's your unpopular musical opinion?
Oh, okay. Well, actually, I was thinking about this the other day. It's funny you should ask. And this going to be controversial, I guess. But my unpopular opinion is that I'm going to take it from the beginning, because obviously I like women, and I like women playing metal. I want more women playing metal. But what I don't like is that every band that has a girl in it suddenly gets automatically a spot on whatever festival or tour and a record label. There are some good bands. There are a lot of mediocre bands. But they're like, now the scene is kind of, and I understand the business part of it. Obviously the promoters, they want to book a band with a hot chick, and that the crowd will come and watch that because they're all horny dogs. And I don't know what you get out of that, because you're just watching someone on stage. I mean, obviously I understand it, but I want, like I said, I want more chicks in the metal scene. I want them to play in bands, but I don't want them to automatically get voted in to play at whatever festivals.
Yeah.
So that's my unpopular opinion.
Okay, here's a good question. I've only got a couple left, Frederik, so I'll let you go very soon. But what one album over history do you wish you could claim as your own? What one album would you love to say, I played on that album and I'm so proud? Anything?
Right on the top of my mind right now, I would say Human with Death.
Okay, yeah. Obviously drums, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Drums, yes.
So what tracks from your previous bands or bands now do you want me to play next, and why? What I'm going to play a track next that you're featured on. What am I playing?
Oh, I guess you should play something with Kvaen if you haven't done that already.
That's always welcome. Which track?
I mean, I like Tornet song, Tornet sang, I guess you would
Yeah,
say, or
yeah,
Tornet
yeah.
song. It's pretty simple. It's not the most aggressive song, but I like the chorus on that. I think it's very effective, the whole
Yeah, I know it.
track. So
It's coming up
I
next. And finally, Fredrik,
like it. Yeah,
what's the
yeah.
most used emoji in your phone? He's getting
Uh,
his phone. He's getting his
yeah,
phone.
I know which one. It's a smiley one with the sweaty
Oh yeah, yeah,
from the
yeah.
forehead.
Why? Because you're hot.
Yeah, I don't know. It just works for anything. It works for if you're pissed off or if you're like
Yeah,
it works basically for yeah.
funny.
It's the number one I use
Yeah, I love
for
it.
everything.
I love it.
Yeah, no, it's just that I mean when you use emojis you don't want to uh, people to think that you're grumpy or so
Yeah,
you put on a face that works for everything
I love it.
basically.
Yeah,
That's at least that's my view.
understood. Fully get it. Well, Fredrik, thanks for joining on the show. Good luck with your band and especially Fimble Winter. I'm looking forward to seeing what's next.
Thank you very much. Great talking to you.